Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today, and we're going to be looking at this online petition from Lady Freethinker.
Oh, Lady Freethinker.
They're an animal rights group, and they're calling out Berluti, a luxury fashion brand.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
So Berluti is known for its, high-end menswear and leather goods, and it actually decided to remove fur from its online store.
Okay. Seems like a positive step, right?
Exactly. But but here's where the story gets a little more complicated.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, a shopper in New York City found a parka
Oh,
with fox fur trim
okay.
and a mink-lined leather jacket at a Berluti physical store.
Oh. So
This
they,
isn't totally fur free.
right, they took it off their online store, but not
Yeah.
their physical stores.
Exactly. And this discovery is actually what sparked the petition that we're looking into.
It's like almost like a gotcha moment, you know?
Yeah.
They make all these pronouncements about, sustainability and ethical practices, but then,
Right. The reality
Yeah.
is a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely.
And Lady Freethinker doesn't really hold back in this petition. Like, they paint a very stark picture of the suffering that's behind those fur trims.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So think, tiny cages, brutal methods like bludgeoning, electrocution,
Oh my gosh.
even instances of animals being skinned alive.
Yeah.
And this is actually documented in some of their investigations in China.
Yeah, I mean, those details are disturbing, of course, but it is kind of crucial to see, what the true cost of this is.
Right.
We see fur and we think of luxury and glamour.
Right. It's a very specific image.
But it's not at all glamorous for the animals involved.
Yeah. It makes you think twice about wearing something, that came at such a high cost.
For sure. For sure.
So let's zoom out a bit, though, because we've got Berluti and, this luxury brand, but they're owned by an even bigger luxury conglomerate.
Oh, right. LVMH.
Well, VMH, exactly.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Major player in the fashion world.
Yeah, and this isn't their first run-in with Lady Freethinker either.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they've been targeted by another petition from the group because of, they use fur across a bunch of their brands.
Oh, wow.
So it really does make you wonder, why are these like the giants of the fashion industry? Why are they kind of dragging their feet when it comes to going fur free?
Yeah, it's a puzzle for sure, especially when you consider that a lot of other brands, even other luxury brands, have, already made that decision
Yeah.
to go fur free. So what do you think? Like, what are some of the challenges that these big conglomerates face in
Yeah.
making these kinds of, sweeping ethical changes?
Well, I mean, I think their size and, complex structure definitely play a role.
Right.
To implement a fur-free policy across like a huge network of brands and suppliers and stores.
That's not, you
And I
can't
mean-
just flip a switch, right?
Right. It's a systemic
No.
overhaul.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the petition, though.
Okay.
Because Lady Freethinker is calling on Berluti to do two things.
One, adopt a fur-free policy, just
Yeah.
like straight up, make it clear.
Uh-huh.
And then two, stop selling fur products in all of their stores,
Right.
online and physical.
Got it.
And they've already gotten over 33,700 signatures
Wow. That's...
on this petition, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that people are paying attention, right? They're
Yeah.
not just letting it slide.
It's a clear sign that there's growing awareness about animal welfare
Definitely.
and that people, really have the power to come together
And make their voices heard.
and make their voices heard. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not just about accepting what's being offered anymore. It's about really scrutinizing.
Yeah. Holding those brands accountable, for
Yeah.
sure. It's kind of interesting to think about this whole thing with Berluti in the context of like online activism, We
Yeah.
see these petitions popping up everywhere.
Right. Are they actually effective?
Yeah. Do they actually create change, especially when you're dealing with these huge companies like LVMH?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a good question.
Right. I mean, I don't think a petition alone can force a company to like completely change overnight,
Right.
but it can be like a really good starting point,
Yeah.
to at least start the conversation.
Right. It's like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And like highlight those discrepancies,
Yeah.
between what a brand says and what they actually do.
Right. Like in this case with Berluti, they talk about sustainability.
But then they're still selling fur.
Yeah. And this petition is calling them out.
Exactly. It's about holding them accountable.
Yeah.
Making them walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
And that public pressure can be a powerful motivator.
Oh, yeah. Especially these days, consumers are so much more informed
Right.
and they're not afraid to speak up.
It seems like we are seeing a real shift in consumer behavior in general, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, people are becoming more aware of the impact of their choices.
Yeah.
And they're looking for brands that align with their values.
For sure. This whole Berluti thing is like a perfect example of a much bigger trend that we're seeing in the fashion industry.
Right.
There's just so much more awareness now about, fast fashion.
Right.
And the environmental costs and the ethical costs.
And people want something different.
Exactly. They're demanding better alternatives, more sustainable, more humane.
So it's not just about fur then.
No, not at all.
It's about like a fundamental shift in how we think about clothes and their impact.
Exactly. It's what they call conscious consumerism.
Okay.
Being more thoughtful about like the whole life cycle of a garment.
The whole process.
Yeah, from the raw materials to production to disposal.
Wow, that's a big shift.
It is, and it's forcing the whole industry to change, adapt or die, basically.
Yeah, brands that don't get on board are going to get left behind.
Oh, for sure. They'll face pressure from consumers, investors, even their own employees.
It's interesting to see how it's all evolving.
It is.
And this Berluti petition feels like a big part of that.
Yeah, it's a really important data point.
But where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, I mean, the petition's still going strong.
Right.
So we'll have to see how Berluti responds, how LVMH responds.
Right. Will they actually take action?
Yeah. Will they acknowledge these concerns and commit to going fur-free?
Or will they just ignore it?
Yeah. Try to sweep it under the rug.
Big questions.
Oh, God.
While we wait for answers,
yeah,
it's important to remember that change takes time.
It does.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process.
It's a journey.
A journey, and every step counts.
Absolutely. Every voice makes a difference.
Even if Berluti doesn't change immediately,
right.
This petition has started a conversation.
Exactly.
It's shining a light on the fur industry.
It's raising awareness.
It really feels like we're at a crossroads here, with all the amazing alternatives out there.
Right.
Faux fur, plant-based materials.
Mm-hmm.
Is there really any reason to keep using real fur?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think it's one that more and more people are asking.
Yep.
I mean, technology and design have come so far.
Right.
We have cruelty-free options now that look just as good, if not better.
Right. And they perform just as well.
Exactly. And even better sometimes.
Yeah. Faux fur has come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have vegan leather and all these plant-based textiles.
It's incredible what they're doing with these materials.
Yeah. You can get the texture, the warmth, the style.
And no animals are harmed.
Exactly. So it really makes you wonder why any brand, especially one that says they care about sustainability,
right,
would still choose real fur.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Not really. So let's talk about our listeners for a second.
Okay.
If someone's listening to this and they really care about animal welfare, and they want to see a change in the fashion industry, what can they do besides signing petitions like this one?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to stay informed.
Okay.
Really do your research on the brands you buy.
Right. Check their policies.
Yeah, look for certifications like Fur-Free Retailer.
Support the companies that are doing things the right way.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
Let those brands know that you care.
Use your voice.
Yeah. On social media, email, even write a letter.
Old school.
It all makes a difference.
It all adds up.
Yeah, collective action is powerful.
Right. Look at this petition.
Exactly.
It's gotten people talking. It's putting pressure on Berluti.
Yeah. We have the power to change things.
We do. Well, we've covered a lot today.
We have.
It's been quite a journey.
From fur farms to corporate responsibility to activism.
It's been a real deep dive.
A deep dive indeed.
Well, I hope our listeners feel empowered.
Me too.
To make informed choices and to speak up for what they believe in.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of fur and fashion.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Justice for the Souls podcast.